It's been a day.
Yo, lock it up, T.
It has been a day. Okay.
Lock it up.
Welcome to Coaching Connection for August 2023. Hopefully everyone's having a fantastic day. So happy to see all of your faces on. We're going to have some nice discussion here today about feedback. Chris, can we get a spotlight, please? Maybe you can't get a spotlight today, not sure. Okay, we'll just wing it. Okay. All right, friends. So we're going to dive right into our topic of conversation today. So our topic of conversation today is on feedback. Feedback is a gift, whether it's positive feedback, whether it is negative feedback, it is a gift. Why is it a gift? Because I don't know about you, but I like to know when I'm doing something right. I like to know when I'm doing something wrong. How do we grow if people don't put us in check, if they do not give us information that helps us get better? We get feedback all the time. Many of you get on and we have to do our role play on 6-week challenges. If you're getting a session audit, all of these things provide valuable feedback for us that we can grow and we can get better. A lot of times we get a lot of really, really positive feedback. A lot of us who, when we service our clients, when we are talking with members, when we get Medallia scores, probably 90% of the time the feedback you're getting is stellar. It's amazing. It is awesome. Not long ago, Joe went on our Argent company page and he put a whole bunch of feedback for Brooke, I believe, the MXM of Portage, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a lot of really awesome feedback, a lot of positive things that was said about Brooke. And if you know Brooke, you know that it's probably all true because Brooke is awesome. But that can be said about mostly all of us, right? You know, we get yes, mostly. Most of us we all get feedback in some form or fashion, and a lot of times it is very, very, very positive. How many times have we at AF Live meetings we've gotten Medallia scores from members who either just had a training session, who either just had a tour or an FC, and it says, Morgan is amazing. That was the best FC I've ever had. Or they might say something like, Carmel is a fantastic trainer. I want her to whatever, you can say so many good things about Carmel. Anyways, but that's usually what we get, right? But and that's honestly probably what we are mostly, right? The job we're doing is amazing. So that is mostly who we are when it comes down to the job output performance that we're getting. So that positive feedback is warranted. But let's talk about the other side of that feedback. What happens when that feedback is not positive? What happens when that feedback is negative? What happens when that feedback is nasty even? How do we approach that? So I thought it would be a good idea for us to talk about this in an open forum discussion. So we're going to actually throw out some negative feedback that some clubs have actually gotten. And we're going to throw this to all of you. So what I want for us to do is I want to discuss how would you or your team take these points of feedback, very negative, and how do we turn them into a positive? How do we learn from them? How do we become the problem in these situations when we get feedback that isn't very nice versus becoming the victim? Cool. All right. So I'm going to pick on my club at North because I'm very, very familiar with our positive and our negative feedback. So North, if you wouldn't mind unmuting, jumping on real quick.
Hi.
How are we doing, friends?
We're doing great.
Good, Terry.
Excellent, excellent. All right, that is James, David, and Shannon, all representing Team North today. And I'm glad to have you guys on. Thank you for your participation here. So James, we've had some really good feedback coming in, but we've had some doozies come in as well, haven't we?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have.
Yeah. So James, if you wouldn't mind, would you share doozy number 1 with the audience?
Sure. All right, number one. I'm gonna read straight up what it says. I'm not going to change any words. So, first one, very misleading about pricing. I was billed wrong and never given a refund, which I was told I would receive. I was told I would not be charged first 2 weeks and was billed on the 6th day being a member. Aside from being billed wrong, they are extremely overpriced for what they offer. $320 for a month, where I can go to a CrossFit gym for less than $200 a month and get a much better workout. If you want to train on your own, I would say it is okay, but the staff and trainers are questionable and misleading when you are signing up. I'm overall feeling like I got scammed by this gym. It feels like an MLM.
Wonderful. All right, so James, without actually talking about how we responded to this, what was the initial reaction, would you say, to this particular feedback?
I would say initial reaction was, oh, this was so long ago. I don't really remember. I would say confusion. And
Why was it confusing, do you think?
I would say the confusing part about it was how she said that we were misleading and put information into the review that was false or things that were corrected. And this person just refused to believe that it was corrected, even though it was.
Yep. So,
and also to put it in perspective, this person did not pay a dime. They were refunded everything fully.
Yeah.
Of the 1 week they were with us.
Well, that was part of the solution,
Yeah,
but we'll get into that.
Yeah, Club OS was down that day, so we had some problems with it not taking the $100 gift card lever. So we had some issues with that, and then we corrected it the next day and refunded and corrected the situation.
Yeah. So we did the steps, obviously, but in the moment, even though we did what we were supposed to do, that feedback really sucked. And it's almost like a gut punch, you know, and I'm sure most of us have gotten feedback like that in the past when it comes to like services or unsatisfied customers. But if your club had gotten feedback like that, I would like to know from you all how, like, take away that initial gut punch reaction. How would you handle that criticism, that feedback that you got from the way that we got that? This is open, so anybody can pop on and go for it.
So what I would do when I get like a gut punch like that, I would nice deep breath. Kind of like how they would, like, whenever you present to them and they look at the cost of something and they don't respond immediately, you give them time to think it over because they're trying to process everything. We will do the same with them in that moment, because what we will do is that, hey, I understand your frustrations. Let's see what we can do to fix this together. And then we kind of dial it back down with the client there that's frustrated. We want them to leave happy, but we also want to do everything that's right.
Thank you, Michael. So that's good advice. Taking a minute, breathing, and like taking stock of it, putting ourselves in their shoes and trying to see it from their perspective, finding a way in. That's very good advice. We got some feedback on our chat from, I believe, Taylor, taking a moment to retrospectively looking into our interactions, thinking about how I could have been perceived by them differently than how I thought I was coming off. That is very good feedback right there, because a lot of times we think we were in the right? Everyone thinks they're in the right usually, but were we really? You know, taking a minute to kind of self-reflect, look at it, look at the situation. Is there something I could have done better in that situation to have a better outcome? Maybe that misunderstanding, we thought we were clear, maybe we weren't, right? Because is that possible? Did we clearly explain, like James said, we had that was a day Club OS was just like bonkers. You know, did we do everything that we could to make sure everything went as smoothly as possible, even with those things? We over communicate what was going on in that situation. Sometimes we think we did, but we didn't. So that's good inward retrospective thinking. Anybody else have any thoughts on this one? Sweet.
Really,
Okay.
Terrence, right?
Oh,
Terrence,
go ahead.
usually what I'll do, Terrence, usually is I'll just like slowly go over and reiterate what they said the problem was, and just slowly pick through it one issue or idea at a time to just let them know that I'm trying to be thorough, that I'm listening, that I care, just that kind of thing, and just slow everything down, you know, like the other guy said, take a breath and just kind of relax a little bit and say, okay, what exactly, you know, happened? And then you can just go through it word for word, line by line, and just kind of, okay, I'm sorry that this is what you heard, or this is what happened, and just kind of do that to reiterate everything. And again, I think just the thoroughness and going slow makes them think, okay, this guy cares, he's giving a hoot. And so then I think you can pretty much fix anything. I mean, I just feel like that usually, unless we were totally in the wrong, and then you obviously got to own it and fix it and all that. I get that, but just on a normal day, just go slow, show them that you care, and just go from there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Little blast action there. Portage reminded us that blast is always a good thing. Atwood, I believe this is probably Alora, putting in, I sincerely apologize for the negative experience you've had with us. I would love to give you an exclusive access to our small group training for a few sessions so that you can experience our lovely trainers if you're willing to give us another chance. Sometimes giving another chance goes a long way. Sometimes it doesn't. But when we put ourselves in that position where, hey, whether we're right or wrong, we still want you to be happy, that can go a long way as well. Excellent. Appreciate all the responses on that particular one. Let me see. Midvale, BLAST is an important acronym. Believe in them, the validity of their emotions, listen, and truly try to put your bias aside to see their perspective. Acknowledge the situation. Don't push past the issue. Solve, work together to help find a solution, and always thank them for bringing this to our attention so we can right the wrong. Absolutely poignant and appropriate. Thank you, Team Midvale. I assume Hannah and Matt are behind that one. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go to another point of feedback. Now, this one, I'm going to admit, now, I normally don't say this, at least not in public. This one is really ridiculous. This point, it was completely ridiculous. And I think all of you, if you ever got this on a Medallia, you would agree. James, would you please fill in our coworkers on this particular one?
Yeah. Okay, so this was a Medallia review. We got a 0 out of 10 from a member, not a training client. Okay, so basically just kind of covering it. What it says, comment, overall support feedback. This person put, stop texting me. Under the not satisfied with service of team members, they put, stop texting me. Additional compliments for team, no. Key metrics, 0 on general member usage, 0 on the CES and the NPS. Visit type, general workout. Gym quality, 5. They gave a cleanliness of 4. Personal fitness support, a 1. And services provided, a 1. Problem experienced during visit, yes. The staff texted me. Problem reported to team members, no. Was the problem resolved? No. And that's about it. So going into that a little bit more, basically what happened was said person popped up into my MXM Smart Engagements once during this time. A very long time ago, I reached out about offering an in-body or possibly an FC just because they never did one when they initially signed up. Looks like we had a couple, let's see here, where is it at? Okay, so the first and last time that this person ever popped up for my Smart Engagements was July 25th. I said, hey, it's been a while since your last in-body scan. Is there a time this week or next week for you to meet with me to check on your progress? I know you wanted to gain more muscle in the legs too. So I did talk to this person before. They said that they were looking for they were wanting to gain more muscle mass too. So that was the only thing I said back in July of 25th. And the Medallia review was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So a pretty far off away from my last message. So it was very, very weird that we got that.
Yeah, that was a bizarre one. So before we go into like how we would handle the situation, one thing to really understand is everyone's going to get bad reviews. And sometimes you're going to reviews that you have absolutely no control over. You just have no control over it. That is one of them. You just have no control over it. But that is usually the outlier. That is not who you are. Is North Madison a zero? God, no. We're not a zero. And we're not the only club that's gotten ridiculous reviews like that, right? But that isn't who you are just because you get a bad review. But can we learn from it? So before we go into everyone else's feedback, how you would handle it, I actually want to go right to North here. I know, Oscar, you had a probably the only solution that we could have come up with. So how did we handle that one, Oscar?
I can't read that. I can read it. Okay, I'll read what Oscar said. Oscar handled it very well. So he sent an email and a text right after we saw it. He said, "Thank you for leaving us some feedback recently regarding messaging you. Our records show that we have only reached out once at our location. I am not sure what messages you are referring to. We will make sure we do not reach out anymore if it is not something urgent."
Right. Which that's as professional as you could be, right? In a situation, we have to contact you because you spend money with us, right? So we have to contact you, but living in the situation like, okay, we're going to do our best not to bother you anymore. It's pretty much all that we could do. But on top of that, Oscar did actually go I know you attempted to go the extra mile because when the gentleman actually came into the club, I know that you attempted to actually resolve this while he was here. Did we have any success with that, Oscar? I actually never got the follow up on that.
No, I haven't seen him since. Like I saw him once, he snuck out, and I haven't seen him in the gym since.
Yeah. Well, we did what we could do, right? So now I'm going to throw it to you all. What do you think? What would you have done? You get a feedback that honestly you have very little control over that situation outside of what you know, because you didn't know that he was annoyed by texting, right? Until now. So how would you have handled that situation? Again, open forum, just go for it.
I would have called him instead of text and emailed him. If his complaint is the fact that there's a text that's driving him nuts to begin with, he would have gotten a phone call instead of written communication. That's the only thing that I would have changed. Otherwise, I think Oscar's approach was dead on. Like, hey, this is XYZ issue. Sorry this happened. We'll make sure it doesn't happen again. But like I say, the only thing I would change is I would have called versus email and text.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Evan. Yeah, sometimes if we can, and obviously we did attempt face-to-face, so more verbal communication. Maybe that's that's better for that member. Making the attempt does make a difference. We've got another one from Taylor here. Would have called and attempted to resolve the issue. Maybe more is going on. So set up an appointment in the club. If possible, that would be appropriate. I'm not sure if he was interested in that, but giving them the option, always a good option. So we never know until we try. Anyone else? Interesting. I would love to hear from an area manager on this because this normally goes to you guys, right? So I would love to hear an area manager's perspective. Yes, I'm putting all of you on the spot. Go ahead, Michaela.
I love that Oscar went above and beyond and texted him. I agreed with Evan and Defo about calling instead of texting, or like you said, he tried in person. So that was above and beyond. I think the important thing to take with feedback is compartmentalize it and not take it personally, because I'm someone who takes feedback very personally. And so just making sure that that text message could have been sent at the wrong time of the day. He just got into a fight with his significant other or something like that. So just making sure not to take it personal. But then like you said, Terrence, how can I be the problem in this situation? So calling, texting, following up and being like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. My apologies. I will immediately take you off the call list. Let me do this for you. How you verbalize it is everything. So I can do this for you. So even when we're doing internet leads, I always say, because some of you guys are like, oh, I've already called this internet lead so many times. They've already had so many points of contact. So I always call and say my apologies that I haven't been able to help you yet. And me just saying that Like my apologies is all they really want to hear sometimes. And then it immediately de-escalates the situation.
Yeah, it can go a very, very long way. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. Thank you for your feedback. Yeah, like I said earlier, feedback is a gift. Great feedback is awesome. It does great things for the ego, helps us feel really good about ourselves. But negative feedback is a learning opportunity. We all have room to grow. We all have room to change. We all have room to get better. So when we have those opportunities, we want to make sure that we take advantage of them, learn from them, grow from them. North, thank you so much for sharing our feedback. Sometimes I know it sucks to put ourselves out there, but you know what? It's all good. We've all had them. Anyways, lunch on me tomorrow, boys. Oh, wait, I'm not here. Lunch on me next week. Okay. All right, cool. Let's get to warm-ups for September 2023. We're going to turn it over to Mario Sanchez for this one.
All right, how's it going, you guys? So for September, for SGT's warm-up, we're going to start off with a 90-90 lat foam roll. So grabbing onto our foam roll, coming down to the ground, we want 90 degrees with our front leg, 90 degrees with the back leg. The arm that is down should be in line with our ear. And then we want to make small oscillations going up and down the lat, specifically on any tender spot. From there, we're also halfway through. We'll end up rocking on the lat as well, and then switching to the other side. So we're doing it for 30 seconds per side. From there, we're going to use the foam roller to get into an offset child's pose. So typically, we're just sitting back onto the heels, extending the arms out. We're going to walk the hands into one end of the foam roller, trying to stretch the lat from there. And then we're hanging out 30 seconds, working on our breath. And then we'll walk it over to the other side, same thing. From there, we're going to get into a sideline windmill. So coming down to the ground, bottom leg is going to be nice and straight. We can use the foam roller, or you can do it flat on the ground. Either one is fine. I like using the foam roller because it gives us a little bit of feedback on what our hips are starting to do. So from here, we're going palm to palm, dragging the fingertips up and over, trying not to let the hips and the knee leave the foam roller. We want to think of looking at the hand as we're coming up and over for 10 on each side. And after that, we're ditching the foam roller. And then we're getting into a sit out to hold for 5 on each side. So we're going quadruped position, so shoulders over the hands, knees directly underneath the hips. I'm going to elevate those knees, and then I'm going to lift right hand and kick through left leg. You can set the leg down if somebody needs to, but we're going to pause and hold, trying to think about pushing the weight through the ground. Other hand is planted. I'm squeezing my glute just for 2 seconds. Then we're coming back to center, kicking through to the other side for 5 on each side. If we need to, we can always do that from an elevated position as well. So if we have a box, we can think of kicking through here, alternating on the side if anybody needs it from an elevated position. Then from there, we're going to a shin box to step through for 10 on each side. So we're starting in our 90-90 from the ground. If we need it, we can have our hands supported out to the outside. Otherwise, from here, just trying to sit up nice and tall. Then we're going to take this back leg, stepping all the way through, starting to try and get a stretch through our hip flexor, and then coming back down nice and controlled. Like I said before, if we need it, we have the hand that we can use for assistance. And if somebody still has a hard time stepping all the way through, then we can work on just driving the hip and coming up. But 10 on each side. From there, we're getting into an inchworm to a Spider-Man. So starting from the bottom of our mat, we're walking those hands out into push-up position, stepping up 1, stepping up 2, walking those hands back, and then repeating. And from there, we're going to a forward lunge to a balance. So stepping forward and then driving hard off that front foot for 10 on each leg. If the balance portion feels crazy for somebody, they can just focus on the forward lunge. If somebody has a hard time going into the forward lunge, just have them do a reverse lunge. Then last but not least, for SGT, we're getting into our CNS prep to where we're doing a triple bent over slam to a triple jump squat for 30 seconds. So grabbing onto a dynamo ball, we're going 1, 2, 3, then going right into a triple jump squat, and then repeating up into those jump squats. Obviously, if anybody has any impact issues, we can always go deceleration squat or body weight squat or a traditional med ball slam. And that's SGT. For team training, we're coming down to the ground and we're starting to, in an active, thread the needle for 30 seconds on each side. So coming up, shooting through, taking a breath, coming back up. So doing that on both sides. From there, we're coming down to the ground into our shin box. From here, we're working on flipping the legs, coming back and forth. If we need to, we can always have the hands here for support, 10 on each side. Then we're going to our push-up to toe tap. So push-up, rocking opposite hand to opposite foot. Can be done from the feet or the knees. If anybody has a hard time going for the push-up, they can always just go from push-up position, rocking back, or to that toe tap. But 5 on each side, 10 in total. From there, we're flipping it over, getting into a crab reach. So feet are planted, one hand is behind us. And then from here, we're driving the hips, looking up and over the shoulder, or 10 on each side. That's hard on anybody's shoulder or wrist. You can do a similar move of a bridge into a reach, coming down, reaching towards that opposite shoulder. From there, we're going to a lateral lunge to a balance, so coming up onto our feet. So now we're stepping out and coming up. Trying to own that top position. Really think about engaging our glute on the balanced leg. If that feels like a lot for anybody, they can just work on the lateral lunge or even a lateral squat for 10 on each side. Then the last one for our CNS prep, we got a lateral step to a skater with a 2-foot landing. That one's a mouthful. So basically we're stepping out to the side, skater, landing on 2 feet. Stepping out to the side, skater, landing on 2 feet for 60 seconds. So if that push off to that jump feels crazy for anybody, just slowing it down and shortening it up. So it's going to their comfort level on that one. And that is September's warm-up.
All right, cool. Thanks, Mario. Appreciate it. All right, friends. If you have any questions about the warm-up, please feel free to reach out to any of the training specialist team. Also, if you need those regressions, especially for the small group training warm-up, it is on the base 30 form that was sent out this morning. So all MXM should have that in their inbox right now. Make sure you get that out to your teams. If you need a little bit of help on that, again, we will have this that demo filmed and sent out later, as well as they're all hyperlinked. So again, any questions, reach out. We got you covered. Okay, it is time for our trainer of the month, coach of the month announcement. So I gotta tell you, I am super excited to be able to announce this month's coach of the month because this person is incredibly deserving. But I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I don't think that I am good enough to give this announcement justice. So I'm actually gonna throw this to someone that I think that can do this better. Chrissy Fiedler, I always say your name wrong. Would you mind taking this one for me?
Yeah, so I was super annoying this month and I called Terrence, I emailed him, I emailed Mario, and wanted to really push for my coaches. So Chris, I'm super excited that I got to push hard enough to make you trainer of the month. Chris is the one I kind of call our big brother of our dynamic here. He's always kind of the sense of reason for us. He's always kind of the one that kind of holds us together. He not only on top of TS stuff, but on training here and just helping develop all trainers that have to go through shadowing. He is always giving us his 100% and it's super appreciated. There was a month that I was super sick and he came, had outside stuff going on too, and he came with his full force and made sure I could handle my stuff on top of the training stuff. He kind of took over and made sure that we were still going good and is always growing our PT program. So he's a huge reason why our program is the way it is. And I'm super excited he got it. So congratulations, Chris. Do you have anything to add? You can't ignore us, Chris.
No, I know I can't ignore y'all. No, thank you so much for pushing Chrissy for that. Yeah. Here I was thinking that wasn't gonna happen because Terrence apparently was nope in it. Heard that was going on, but no, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone. That's all I gotta say.
Awesome. Now, Chris is incredibly deserving. So just full disclosure, normally training specialist, myself, Mario, Chris, we are not eligible to become Coach of the Month. However, Chrissy wrote such a powerful email to really promote her, to promote Chris, that we just couldn't ignore it. So, and for those who don't know, like I said, Chris is on the training specialist team. Just the things that he does behind the scenes, he does so much, not just for his team, but for the entire company. There's so much on that man's plate. He is, he's honestly one of the best people I know, one of the best coaches I know. And I'm so happy that he got this nod this month. So Chris, congratulations. You are absolutely well-deserved on this one. So awesome. All right, friends, we're coming to the close of our meeting this month. All right, but before we get out of here, got a special announcement for you all. So our friends at the PPSC are coming back with their brand new Forever Strong program on November 4th and 5th. This is a Saturday and Sunday event. Chris, Mario, and I got to go to this program as the preview for this program. And I kid you not when I say this is the best program, continuing education, anything I have ever done. And I've done a lot. This is the best one I have ever done. It speaks so much to what we do here as coaches. It speaks so much to our programming and how we can elevate our programming to levels even beyond what we have it now. I am super excited that they are bringing this program to us. I think we're one of the first groups to actually get it in the entire world. And I encourage as many of you as possible to attend. I'm gonna do it again. It was. I know, Mara, you're doing it again, right?
Yep, I will be there. Yeah. Like Terrence said, this is probably, I've been going to seminars for at least 8+ years in terms of continued education. And this was by far the best one that I've ever been to. So it doesn't matter whether you're a CM, MXM, or coach, like this will speak volumes to what we're starting to see already in our programming and where we're headed. You will learn an insane amount of content and you can use this obviously with your clients and members, but also within the stuff that you do yourself. It's phenomenal. So I encourage everybody to go to this.
All right, so it's the same deal as usual. So we want to thank Andy, who is the most generous boss He is gonna be taking care of half the cost for us, so I believe it's like 125 really over the course of 3 checks, like it always is. Again, like I said, it is a weekend one this time. However, friends, let me tell you, it is absolutely worth it. You're gonna hear about this several more times before we actually get there. It is that important and that amazing. We really want as many people that can make it to be there. Look for the sign up email. Joe's going to be sending that out, I believe, today.
I think it's out already.
Is it out already? Okay, perfect. So again, that is November 4th and 5th. That's the first week in November. PPSC, well, it's not even PPSC, it's Forever Strong. Forever Strong. Dr. John Russin, Cliff Harsky, they will be here. It's going to be really, really amazing. All right, friends, thank you so much for your attention. We'll see you next month on the next call. Have a good one.